WCBP News. State Coroner's Office has released the names of the two bodies discovered 10 days ago in Provincetown and East Orleans as 63-year-old Betsy Nye of Eastham and 83-year-old Dr. Michael Garrity of Wellfleet. Both victims of the bizarre copycat crime were retired from Bayside Hospital in Falmouth. The FBI has begun an intense investigation into the crimes, an event which has many Cape Cod healthcare workers fearing for their lives.
Dear Kate, you know what's been going on here, but in the last 24 hours, things have gotten worse. I'm sending you this letter in case something happens to me. If I leave here without seeing this through, then I failed, and I can't do that again. I don't regret coming here or enrolling in Dr. Klugard's seminar. His classes helped me to understand Mom's death. I see her face as I write this letter, so I know staying here is the right thing to do. They say one book can change your life. I never thought mine would be Dirt Boy.
Master psychologist and crime investigator Dr. Ronald Klugard has brought an end to the manhunt for serial killer Jordan Gallivan, the Chicago man suspected in the brutal slayings of 7 area residents, a crime which has puzzled state and local authorities for 2 years.
The search for the Delaware University student claimed missing last week has ended tragically today. The body of 26-year-old Heidi Grants was discovered early this morning in a greenhouse belonging to a retired university professor. The body was located with the help of Dr. Ronald Klugard, who will release a statement regarding the gruesome crime later today.
This all began 3 weeks ago when I left New York to come to Atwater Commons.
Hey, what are you doing?
Your windows are filthy, Maddie. Grime and all that buildup. How you gonna see?
What are you all jumpy about?
You're moving to Cape Cod, aren't you?
Only for a few months.
Well...
Dirt Boy? Oh, Dirt Boy. Okay, that's funny.
Cape Cod, 31 murders. Haven't you read it?
No.
Oh, here. I've already read it 2-3 dozen times. It's frighteningly real. It's compelling, full of suspense. Says a Writer's Weekly. White knuckle adventure.
Thanks, John.
Oh, one day at a time, Matt.
We said goodbye on January 7th, the day before my 2-month criminal investigation seminar was to begin. Although I wasn't qualified for Klugard's class, I did hope he could help me to understand the events surrounding Mom's death.
You're doing the right thing, Maddie. Just pay attention, and you're gonna do great. Atwater Commons is a nice town. The AM talk shows suck, but classic literature. Keep you entertained.
Book on tape. Well, thanks, Katie.
You're gonna do great, Maddie.
As I drove out of New York, I tried to imagine leaving my past behind, but too many bad thoughts occupied my mind. To pass the time, I listened to Dirt Boy.
Trading Words Audiobooks presents Dirt Boy by Atwater Bridges. Edward Siggs was still 40 miles from the Bayside Hospital delivery room when he saw the first line of blood roll down Ellie Siggs' leg and gather onto the floor mat of their 1955 Chevy. Beside him on the seat, Ellie, his sweet wife of 10. The emergency room entrance, a team of doctors and nurses pulled Ellie from the car and raced her inside. She began bleeding 20 minutes ago. Ellie's slender fingers loosened around his hand, and the emerald sea in her eyes disappeared. It took only 18 minutes for the last of Ellie's life to drain from her and into the 8-pound, 5-ounce frame of newborn Henry VI. By the time Henry was 18, he had already begun to hear the voices. "Do it for Daddy," they whispered. "Show him how much you care." Sunk the steel prongs into her scalp. Henry hung the lifeless body over his shoulder and carried it to the pond. He wrapped the body in black plastic, loaded it with cinder blocks, and sunk the girl 15 feet from the eastern shore. Dirt Boy stood above the sunken corpse, blurry now beneath the darkness and murky filth of the pond, and he began to cry. Tears fell freely as he recalled the echo of the girl's final scream ricocheting off the dense trees surrounding the pond. His sobs did
Atwater Commons. It's that time of year again, folks. Christmas is over and our own Dr. Klugard is back. That's right, acclaimed criminologist.
Creepologist is more like it.
Well, he's back with his silly conference.
The night I arrived, I saw Atwater Bridges walk past the cottage. I would not meet him until the next morning. Like Dr. Klugard, it was obvious that Atwater had a keen understanding of a killer's mind. Going to sleep my first night took a little longer than I expected.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. Sir, I didn't even see you. I'm gonna go get an ambulance.
No, don't panic. Just help me out of here, will you?
Okay. Here you go. Your glasses, sir.
You think I should sue?
Sir, you certainly have every right.
Nonsense, it was only a tap. Besides, you could deny it.
Deny?
Your word against my word sort of thing? Is there physical evidence? I don't see any.
Well, you may bruise.
Well, I've recently had a stroke, you know. Now, I could have stumbled in the dark, fallen down the stairs. My house is very dark, especially the stairs.
Well, you laid your hand on my trunk as I smacked you. There will be a print.
I could have done that last night while you were asleep in your cottage. Now, to establish the facts of my case without proper evidence, I'd need a confession. Oh, a crime has been committed, an injury has occurred, and there is a suspect. You.
Matty Matthews.
Yes, Matty, you are the suspect. Yet I am in the unfortunate position of not having a witness.
Sir, Mr. Atwater, do you want me to fill out an accident report?
Oh, hell. I'm just fooling with your imagination. Now, had it been corpus delicti, you would have had your own imagination to contend with. You know the term.
Yes. It means that the death of a victim has occurred as the result of a criminal act.
Like a hit and run.
Yes.
Yeah, you must be here for the conference.
I am.
I'll tell you what. You keep your mouth closed, I'll do the same. the people around here find out that I'd been run over, I would never get rid of them. Oh, they're very good. They're lovable people. But when it comes to my health, they have a tendency to be rather intense. I'd consider it a hell of a favor if you just forget it. Welcome to Atwater Commons, Maddie.
What do we see here? Detective Burke, Orlando?
The messy scene suggests that it was a crime of opportunity. The offender could be categorized as disorganized.
All right. Detective LaMarche, Detroit.
The rope, which appears to have been the weapon in this scene, could provide associative or trace evidence which could link the perpetrator to this particular crime.
Assuming, of course, that the evidence has been properly handled, correct?
Yes.
Is that usually the case?
No, not usually.
Detective Jury, Denver?
In many cases, evidence is tampered, mishandled, or improperly attained.
So how do we avoid that?
Maintain swift and accurate control of the crime site.
What's your name?
Matty Matthews, sir, from New York.
Well, help me out here, Mr. Matthews. Florida, August of last year. The body of a 28-year-old female, Joanne D., was discovered in a marsh. She had been strangled and hastily buried, but left partially exposed. Now, this is a sexual homicide, but I'm not going to bore you with the prurient details of vaginal penetration or lack of semen evidence because it's not material to the point I'm trying to make. The 65-year-old man who discovered her, Mr. Spencer, in some misguided attempt to rescue the girl, pulled her from the marsh and in doing so destroyed a lot of the latent evidence that might have been collected, such as footprints, etc. Furthermore, Mr. Spencer, in pulling the body from the marsh, cut himself. And his blood dripped onto the body of Joanne D. What can I do, Mr. Matthews, to solve this crime? Detective LaMarche?
Search for fiber, hair, blood splatter, even trace.
Detective Burke?
Run the profile through VICAT.
Detective Jury?
Do a background check on the old man.
Two months ago, Mr. Spencer was pulled over for driving an unregistered car, fake plates. Subsequent investigation revealed that the car was kept in a shed belonging to his sister. And inside the shed, shreds of Joanne D's fingernails, blood, and hair. We have our hands on the classic organized offender, and we let him go.
This is WCBP News. Friends, family, and area residents expressed dismay over the controversial decision to halt the investigation into the disappearance of Betsy Nye, the Cape resident reported missing last year. The decision to cease the highly publicized case came yesterday as budget cuts were imposed on local law enforcement agencies, where signs of bitter political infighting and questionable police conduct.
Atwater Commons. And now for the Atwater Commons weekly calendar of events. This afternoon, the Atwater Association for Greater Health and Spirituality will begin their power walking and Tai Chi classes.
We expect to see you out there, Atwater. No excuses this year, huh?
The Atwater Commons Chamber Orchestra will present work by Stravinsky tomorrow evening.
Listed in critical condition. This is AM WCBP 1430 on the dial.
Poetry reading by 9-year-old Peter Ryan, recipient of the Joyce Bridges Memorial Artistic Scholarship Award. His theme this week is Transcendentalism.
What a strange town.
Thursday evening at 6 p.m., the Atwater Commons Green Thumb Group will begin their winter series talks on keeping up those damn perennials. I die every year, so you'll be sure.
WBOY. The signal didn't reach beyond town lines. At first it was just odd. Later I realized that it was by design. It wasn't until the second time I heard Dirt Boy that I began to feel as if fate was playing a large part in my visit to Atwater Commons.
And now for the weekly rebroadcast of Dirt Boy, Chapter 1.
Henry's 6 bedroom stood at the top of the stairs, and at night he could hear Edward's tormented sobs coming from the study across the hall. He had one framed photograph of his mother, but the woman's sandy blonde hair, sparkling emerald eyes, and pleasant grin meant nothing to him. He never knew her, and although he tried, could not bring himself to feel sadness for her loss. Because of this, Henry spent his childhood alone. In the back of his head, he heard his father's angry voice. "Henry, look at your filthy hands. It's no wonder those despicable, dirty hands choked the life out of my beloved Ellie. Yes, you are Dirt Boy, muddy up to your knees in guilt. Just once," he said, "I wish you would show some emotion, some tears, some sense of remorse for the life you have so ruthlessly stolen." Henry tried to cry, but he couldn't.
Hi, you've reached Katie Matthews. I'm not here right now to take your call, but if you leave your name and number, I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can.
Hi, Kate. It's me.
Why are you being such a
I'm
big
here,
baby, Dirt
and
Boy?
I was just calling to say...
By the time Henry was 18,
Very nice.
he had already begun to hear the voices. "Do it for Daddy," they
Hey,
whispered.
Kate, you were right about the radio
"Show him how
station.
much you care."
Weird. Other than that, I have
They were
been
still due when
studying
Rose
very,
returned
very
from
hard, so I'm
hospital
sorry I
in
haven't
September
called.
1978.
But it's just, I've been
He
very
stole the
busy.
garden rake out of Edward's
Busy,
greenhouse
busy.
and drove to the pier in Atwater Commons. There he spotted a man in a phone booth, followed him to the busy streets of Provincetown, and set out on a killing spree, which would not end until 31 people lay dead. All of this for the love of his father.
Being in Dirt Boy's own backyard, just a few miles from the location of his first murder, piqued my curiosity. Klugard said that in order to understand a killer, you start by retracing his actions. With that in mind, I set out on my very first exercise, to follow in Dirt Boy's footsteps. How exactly I found myself in the middle of the woods with a shovel and a dead man's wallet, I don't
Henry
know.
trailed the man as he traveled east on Ship's Way Road, a narrow back road, laden with scrub brush and pine. He stayed discreetly hidden as they turned onto Commercial Street in Provincetown and passed the souvenir shops, the bars and restaurants, glancing out his window at the busy street, dense with weekend visitors. Near the center of town, the man turned off Commercial Street and parked beside the public restrooms. Dirt Boy parked nearby. He clenched the four-pronged garden rake beside him on the seat and waited for the man to exit. As Dirt Boy spied the overweight tourist exit the restroom, he knew, without giving it a moment's thought, this man would not live to see another night. The banging inside the trunk did not slow Dirt Boy as he drove beneath the cathedral-like darkness of Higgins Hollow, an out-of-the-way dirt path on the outskirts of town. Dirt Boy stopped at the metal gate at the end of the barren road and parked. He stepped out of the car and opened the trunk.
Let me out of here!
As he dragged the man roughly onto the ground, the screaming began.
What do you want with me? Please let me go!
Anxious, Dirt Boy threw the man down, lifted the garden rake above his head, and struck his first blow. He held the man in place and repeated the action several times. Red tears traced a moist path across the man's heavy cheeks, and the look of horror disappeared from his face as darkness came. Less than 100 feet from the metal gate, Dirt Boy committed his first murder. When he realized what he had done, a wave of sadness began to build. A sadness he had hungered for all his life. Tears filled his eyes as he dug a hole in the ground to bury the slain man. And his body heaved as he placed a blue tin can above the dark soil to mark his grave.
You want to tell me what you're doing out here again, kid?
I was taking a walk.
With a shovel.
It was in my car.
Got a permit?
With a shovel? No.
Get wise with me. Trespassing on state property. Let's take a look.
Don't you think I should wait for the proper authorities?
In case you haven't noticed, I am an employee of the state, so stand back and shut up. Whoa! What did you say you were doing out here again, kid?
I said I was taking a walk.
On state property.
I believe we've already determined that, sir. You really shouldn't be touching that.
This is quickly turning into a disaster for you, kid.
Me? Look, all I was doing was listening to a book on tape.
I gave a statement to the local police while photos were taken of the dead man. Of course, the only fingerprints they found on the garden rake were the park rangers. When one of the cops jokingly asked if I was Dirt Boy, the only thing I could think to say was, we're all guilty of something. So I guess there's a little bit of Dirt Boy in everybody.
I guess if it's
It didn't go over too well.
that's great.
Neither did the phone call to you later that night.
Have you done anything else besides study?
Not yet.
Can I give you some advice?
Go ahead.
I know this class is important, but you should use the time away to think about Mom. It's been a year since the accident, and you haven't talked about it at all. But I really think you should.
16 towns, 135 villages, hamlets and islands, 364 lakes and ponds, and none of it was safe now. Dirt Boy made a solemn oath. His next kill would not be his last.
Troy, are you pressing the button down on your walkie-talkie? 1040? Over?
No, that's at 1014 at Little Neck Lane.
When I met Officer Troy the next morning, he came across as so strange, so unreal. It was as if he'd climbed off the pages of Atwater's book. I couldn't believe the town let him carry a gun.
1014. Selma, look it up in the book. You Maddie Matthews?
Yes?
You recognize this article of clothing?
I can't say I do.
Are you familiar with the term hit and run?
Yes, I am.
Were you not, in fact, involved in a hit and run 2 days ago?
I have no recollection.
Son, what kind of life do you lead when you can run over a 75-year-old best-selling author and forget about it? Let me help you remember. It's morning. You're drunk. You stumble out of your cottage. You fall behind the wheel of your car.
Oh, wait a minute.
You slam it into reverse. You pop the clutch.
I drive a fucking automatic.
Watch your tongue. And then you rear that wheel just a little bit this way so when you whack them, you clear the dunes. Now, isn't that the way it happened?
Not at all.
Oh, I'm making it up.
Well, you're certainly exaggerating.
Maybe if I'd gotten the proper legal documentation.
I admit, I didn't fill out an accident report.
Oh, well, why the hell not?
Mr. Bridges asked me not to.
Son, you could have got Grissom. You could have got Steele. I would have even aimed for King, but you ran over Atwater Bridges in his own hometown.
He begged me not to report it. He said that he wouldn't be left alone if I did.
You know, the old man had a stroke a couple of years ago. It was in all the papers.
I didn't hear. Nope.
We've been nursing him back to health. Doing everything we can so he'd bring that savage little bugger back for just one more. But so far, nothing. You can't build a reign of terror like that and just pull the plug. There's no way to maintain a healthy readership. And I don't mind telling you, this town has bills to pay.
I had no idea.
Which brings me to that little thing in Provincetown. Needless to say, this stunning revelation could have an effect on Mr. Bridges' already fragile state of mind. If he were to go into a state of depression, we may never feel the slippery hands of Dirt Boy around our throats again. That's what it's really all about. You don't want to get in the way of that.
This is AMWCBP, 1430 on the dial. The state coroner's office is withholding the identity of the body discovered yesterday in a wooded section of land belonging to the national park, while local authorities claim to have begun an investigation into the crime and its mysterious circumstances. Today, we will hear from the families of Betsy Nye and Eugene Marassi, who experienced firsthand questionable police conduct in two
I tried reading it. I
publicized
couldn't
cases.
stand the writing.
The 82-year-old Barnstable man
My
found
son's a
murdered
fan of
last
this
September
Dirt
in the
Boy.
woods behind his home.
Maybe this kid can get us an autograph.
In another tragic event close to home, Atwater Bridges was struck by a car driven by an unidentified motorist while walking along Little Neck Lane.
A gun is different than a knife. A needle is different than a rope. A slice is different than a stab. A body left out in the woods is different than a body wrapped in plastic and buried. One was meant to be found, and the other not. If you're looking for a friend, someone to accompany you on your long, dark journey, someone you can trust, look for evidence.
I'm not putting my prints in that thing.
Chapter 2. Only moments before Dirt Boy arrived at Uncle Henry Pond in East Orleans, he had been engaged in a friendly conversation with a young woman who had stopped for a soda on her way to Truro. "But there's a back road that can get you to Truro in half the time," he said. "If you'd like, I can show you." Dirt Boy was surprised when the woman did not turn away as they drove onto Windy Hill Lane, a beaten path, which led them to Uncle Harvey Pond in East Orleans. He stopped his car on the barren road and motioned for the girl to do the same. She exited her car and approached Dirt Boy. Her name was Meredith. She was a slightly overweight girl from Pittsburgh, and she gave Dirt Boy the impression that she'd been around the block a few times. When the young woman leaned over to give Dirt Boy a beneficial view of her cleavage, he turned suddenly, swung the garden rake above his head, and sunk the steel prongs into her scalp. He wrapped the body in black plastic, loaded it with cinder blocks, and sunk the girl 15 feet from the eastern shore, 15 feet from the eastern shore, and sunk the girl 15 feet from the eastern shore.
body appears to be that of a girl, a woman. She has gray hair with little spots of auburn. She is not wearing any clothes. By the looks of things, she appears to be very, very waterlogged. There are lacerations on her neck and chest and face from a garden rake of the handheld type. She must weigh about 100 pounds. Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, not bad.
Are you reminiscing since he left you behind?
WBOY. In typical form, the national news is making a terrible fuss about the 2 slain bodies that silly New Yorker boy has found. I don't know his agenda, but it is not the welfare of our small community. That's right. A dark cloud has settled over our haven, and WBOY has just been notified that our rental season has already been affected by this news.
They were so obsessed with their town that they didn't give a shit about murder. By now, of course, the story had made the cover of several newspapers, but the identities of the bodies had not been released, so no real conclusions could be made. However, Atwater seemed to take the attention personal.
What the hell is going on here? I thought we were friends. What are you trying to prove by hurting me like this? Does it give you joy to see me suffer? Is that it?
No, it's nothing like that, sir.
My phone hasn't stopped ringing. I can't sleep. The press is camped out in the bay, spying on my house. Worst of all, my publisher called this morning to tell me my book sales are failing. They think I'm responsible.
Well, sir, just relax.
Oh, easy for you to say. Who are you? Some punk, some nobody. You don't have a grasp on your own life, so you must tear mine down. Is that it?
No.
Oh, you know, I don't have a good time writing these things, but I do it. I do it, and I keep in front of that typewriter 12 hours a day.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Go home. Quit. Oh, isn't that what you're good at, Mr. Matthews? Quitting? Why should this be any different, really? Oh, yeah, I know about you. Countless disappointments plague your life, don't they, Mr. Matthews? Oh, something tragic must have happened for you to carry on like this, to be so aimless and so irresponsible. While your friends become the successes they're destined to be, you become the failure.
We all know who's behind this. You know what I'm talking about, Mary. It's that little bitch who accused Atwater of trying to kill her.
The Veneziano girl?
Yes, the Veneziano girl. Chapter 14. Who else? Probably got the Matthews boy all tangled in lies. He's maybe giving him a little something on the side to keep him going, if you know what I mean.
Now, Donald, that may be an inappropriate innuendo for our young listeners.
Ah, to hell with them. I'm the selectman of this goddamn town. I can say whatever the hell I want. My grandson. Veneziano's 6th grade English class. He says the girl just won't shut up about it. I was camping. He tried to kill me. Give me a break. Susan Brooke Veneziano is pulling all the strings here. Mark my words.
We'll be right back to take more calls after this commercial break.
Are you sick and tired of your backyard smelling like low tide? Then call Max Sewage and Mugger Pumping for a free estimate.
Chapter 14. When Dirt Boy followed the red-headed woman from the gas station on Route 28 to her campsite in Wellfleet, he had no intention of spending a night beneath the stars. At 200 pounds, the redhead was no easy kill, and it came as a great surprise as she rolled out from under him and went screaming into the woods. Dirt Boy chased after the woman. Listening with amusement, she chugged on like a dying locomotive. You see how a little exercise could have saved your life? Stay away from me, she cried, as her legs tumbled beneath her. Dirt Boy walked forward, fixed his long, wavy blonde hair behind his ears, then grabbed the back of her head and knocked her unconscious by smacking it atop the cold, hard ground. When he was finished, he wrapped a filthy rag around the woman's eyes and dragged
I was
her
hoping I
right
was going to
body
see you.
back through the woods.
Me?
For the past 2 years, nobody has believed a word I've said. Oh, Brooke, it's just a strange coincidence, that's all. Mr. Bridges would never do such a thing, chase you through the woods like that, especially in his health. Bullshit. That old man can run. Stroke or no stroke, he's got wheels.
So you are the girl in the book?
I never got a clear look at him. I was blindfolded, you know. Page 197, third paragraph. Dirt Boy tied the filthy rag roughly around the girl's eyes, blah, 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 skipping ahead through the horrendously tedious and painstakingly poor prose to page 214. From the time the girl was abducted outside.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Could you please state your name?
Susan Brooke Veneziano.
Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do. One of my sixth graders could write more compelling prose.
Argumentative, although I happen to agree with you. Would you mind telling me about the camping trip?
Well, ever since I was a girl, my grandmother and I have gone on camping trips together. We've gone to the same campground, camped at the same site, on the same weekend for the past 17 years. On the day of the event, she'd gone to buy nachos or something, and I was sitting in the shade reading when I heard footsteps behind me. Before I had time to understand what was going on, there was a cloth wrapped around my eyes, and I was led into the woods. I had no good ideas about what was going to happen next. So when he yanked at the back of my head, I spun around and I punched him. And I heard him stumble to the ground. That's when I took off running. And I ripped the rag around my eyes, and as I went off into the woods, I could hear the distinct metal clicking of his gun, and I felt the first of several bullets whiz past my ears.
How long ago did the incident in question take place?
2 years ago this fall.
Do you have any idea who else knew about your camping trips?
Well, lots of people. Like I said, we'd been going on these camping trips since I was a kid, and my grandmother was always comfortable camping alone. People that knew her knew that.
So you believe Mr. Bridges was the offender?
Yes.
But you said you were blindfolded.
I was blindfolded.
Could you explain your answer and please speak clearly into the recorder?
In one of my attempts to escape, I kicked him several times. And that's when I heard Mr. Bridges say, "Oh, hell, girl, why must everything be such a chore?" I'll never forget that.
Was there ever a formal investigation into your case?
Hardly. They took a statement, but that was it. When I mentioned that I suspected it was Atwater, nobody would believe me. The police told me that it was some copycat guy trying to follow the book, some fan trying to impress Atwater.
Do you think it worked? Was he impressed?
Well, that's the really phenomenal part of this whole thing. At the time, it was known that Atwater was experiencing writer's block. The attention from Dirt Boy dried up, and he was in a very deep depression.
Really?
In fact, there was rumor that he was even going to leave the Cape, split Atwater Commons, and go someplace else.
Why do you think he stayed?
I don't know. But I do know that shortly after my abduction, he was all over town, smiling and in a really grand mood.
Well, after the event, what was his next published book?
He hasn't published anything. I mean, as far as I know, from what I've been told, he hasn't written a word.
The state coroner's office has released the names of the two bodies discovered in Provincetown and East Orleans as 63-year-old Betsy Nye of Eastham and 83-year-old Dr. Michael Garrity of Wellfleet. Both victims of the bizarre copycat crime were retired from Bayside Hospital in Falmouth. The FBI has begun an intense investigation into the crimes, an event which has many Cape Cod healthcare workers fearing for their lives. Evidence regarding Garrity's case is being withheld as further investigations take place, but sources have disclosed a remarkable connection to the book Dirt Boy by Atwater Bridges. In the wake of speculation surrounding the two retired hospital workers found murdered, all copies of the book and book on tape have been removed from bookstores across the country.
I believed Brooke's story and admired her courage not to leave Cape Cod after nearly being killed. But I had a hard time making a connection to her and Atwater, or her grandmother for that matter. It didn't make sense that Atwater would risk his fame, his success, and his talent on these murders. My gut was telling me that somebody else was Dirt Boy, and WBOI was telling me that he had friends.
Frigid temperatures in town, we have just been informed that this year's perennials are in jeopardy of becoming harmfully exposed. In order to prevent potential disaster, we must exercise soil care and quickly remove and discard the affected perennial roots. While you are transplanting, be sure not to leave any of the plant behind. If the plant is buried deep, ask a friend to come along to help dig it up. And I recommend using a trowel, spade, rake, or hatchet to cut out and discard affected.
Did you do this?
I have no recollection of doing that.
No recollection.
Hey, whoa, don't attack me.
What?
Mr. Bridges warned me about you.
What did he say?
He says you behave irrational.
Look, kid, someone vandalizes my car.
Don't threaten me.
I didn't threaten.
Mr. Bridges says you've got a disorder.
A disorder.
He says something happened to you when you were young, and now you're damaged goods.
Okay.
He thinks it has something to do with your mother. He says you used to be on drugs, and you blame yourself for the way she died. The way he tells it, you're responsible. You haven't let her go. Until you do, you'll remain a stranger in this world. An outsider. You won't find what you're looking for here. He wants you to go home.
Kate, I live every day with the guilt of my past and know I'll never be free of it. I regret taking drugs. Mom reached out to help me and I didn't accept it. If I had, she would still be here. I wonder every day what she'd say if she saw me now. When I thought about an entire town working together to hide their past, to dig up bodies and bury them where they could never be found, I knew it would be impossible. Like my own past, these crimes could not be erased forever. Some part of them would always exist, so I decided to stay.
I'm laughing to keep from crying. Folks are starving, children dying. Life is bad as it can be. So I laugh at life in spite of me. I keep trusting, I keep trying. Politicians keep on lying. Can't believe the dirt they so I laugh at
by the killer to make it appear as though it were suicide.
Laughter has been known to heal, make you feel life is still worthwhile. Being broke is still in style, but through it all, we can smile.
Friday, January 10th, 2:45 p.m. Beneath the Chatham Pier, I find no evidence of foul play. The fact that both victims I uncovered were retired hospital workers indicates a motive of revenge. However, I feel that the person who committed these crimes is not the same as the person who recently unearthed the bodies on this latest search. There are several parties involved here. I hope they are caught soon, to give the families of these unfortunate victims the closure they deserve.
Well, what can we say about that?
In the 31 fictional accounts of murder described in the book, I found 2 bodies, both here and here, as well as the survivor of an attempted abduction here. However, when I investigated the others, I found only 2 grave sites where the bodies had been recently removed. In all, I believe there were 4 victims killed during 1999.
Suspects?
No.
Evidence?
No.
You may not have physical evidence, but you do suspect something, don't you, Mr. Matthews? You may not be able to put your finger on the clues, but you do suspect something, don't you?
Yes.
And what is that?
I'd rather not say.
Good for you.
French leaning pretty good, this dude.
Go back to New York, Mr. Matthews. Your life is in danger here.
Even though I trusted Detective Jury, I had to wonder how he knew I was in danger. Who was he watching?
What's going on here, people? As a selectman of this town, it's my responsibility to tell you that you've failed. Someone has dug up these diseased perennial roots, but it wasn't us. This is Atwater Commons, goddammit. There's treachery in our midst, and we must stop it. Maybe Dr. Ronald Klugard has slipped into a deep sea of madness once and for all. He is and always has been an unwanted presence here. Let's not allow the slug threatening to corrupt our precious garden back onto our soil. Stay alert, people, and keep your eyes open, damn it.
I checked the public records and I found that the people of Atwater Commons earn 4 times as much as the people of other Cape Cod towns. The librarian earns 95 grand a year. Carpenters, plumbers, painters average 150 grand. Hell, even the guys who pump muggers earn $85,000 a year.
What are muggers?
It's a local term, means septic tank. Muggers. Without Dirt Boy, this town would be nothing. My feeling is that these people are behind the murders.
Be careful who you tell that to.
What's going on here is wrong.
I realize that, but you're not the only one involved in this, Maddie. This thing has made national news. Now pack your bags and get the hell out of there. You've done what you've done, but there is no reason for you to stay there now. Promise me you'll come home, okay? Okay, Maddie?
You know, I truly enjoyed reading books before this whole thing happened. And now I can't help but feeling they've deceived me somehow. Think about it. Who's really having the fun here? Certainly not the characters, that's for sure. The reader? I don't know. Reading these books can be stressful, intense. Sometimes it even brings a person to tears. It's the only one left is the writer. When the character is left alone in the desert, dying of dehydration, or is a slow swimmer in an ocean full of sharks, or loses a pivotal legal battle on a technicality, or is chased by dinosaurs, I think there's only one person who's really having a good time, and that's the writer. Stories. I'm surprised you're still here, Maddie. Why do you do it?
Well, I think if you look at the root of all murders, all deaths, you can find one moment where it began. But in order to discover that moment, you have to look very closely at the victim and begin a sort of dialogue. What were you thinking the moment before you died? What led you here? Why you? Now imagine asking those same questions into the face of your own mother. What were you thinking the moment before you died? What led you here? Why you? That's what I do, That's why I'm here.
In the studio with us today is 11-year-old Peter Ryan, who will read his new poem, A Winter Tale, which won him the prestigious Atwater Bridges Scholarship for Artistic Development. Don't put your tongue on the microphone like that, sweetie.
Frozen icicles, snowy bicycles, slippery rooftops, snow-swept bus stops, numb feet, black ice streets, hard to consider, a chill so bitter, Christmas forgotten, pumpkins, yes, rotten. So here we are, inside this polar nightmare, a reality in which you don't dare to turn your back on snowy tracks as you near the center of this wretched, dead of winter.
Hey! Get over here!
Mr. Bridges? Mr. Bridges! Mr. Bridges! Detective Jury was right. I was being watched. And as I stood over Atwater's shoulder, staring at pictures of his past, I knew why. The death being avenged was Joyce Bridges. Finally, I found the link that tied Brooke's grandmother to the other victims. Atwater got the wrong girl.
You wanted your grandmother.
What are you talking about?
You were grabbed from behind while you were camping, right?
Yeah.
Atwater got the wrong girl, Brooke. The reason you knew about your grandmother's camping trips was because she told him.
They were a very popular couple. Joyce was a fine painter. Her goal was to bring art to the people, the regular folks.
Kathleen, were you in the hospital room the day Joyce died?
Yes, I was.
How many people were in the room that day?
5.
Is that standard?
No, she had a heart condition, and the hospital was taking extra measures.
What had happened that day?
You have to understand. Joyce knew it could be fatal if she had children. But she insisted. When she gave birth to her first child, she had experienced minor complications. Atwater, this is only hearsay now, but he supported her decision to have a second child. He wanted to make Joyce happy, and that was that. Poor Joyce. A dear, dear woman. It happened all of a sudden. The child was born, and she flatlined. Atwater, I never heard a man cry like that.
So Mr. Bridges has 2 children.
Yes. My feeling is that he hasn't been the same after that day.
Kathleen, did you know that the 4 other hospital workers that were with you in the room that day are now dead?
Yes.
This is not standard. A 911 call implies an emergency? Why did it take you 6 hours to respond? What is this? You're ticketing me? How can I be illegally parked? This is beach sand.
Watch the temper.
Oh, great. This again?
I know about the tragedy in your life, in your past.
Please, don't.
That tragic accident in upstate New York that took your mother's life. All that snow, those long winding roads, narrow, so slick. Oh, I bet she tried real hard to control that car. But in the conditions like that, impossible. Just impossible. Well, the impact probably killed her. Well, I know they found the body outside the car, but hey, 9 out of 10 times the crash kills him instantly. Did she suffer? All twisted up like that? I don't know. Nobody knows. Oh, hell, I know what a chore it is dealing with those unanswerable questions. What if this? What if that? The answers aren't here. I know what a chore it is dealing with those unanswerable questions. I know what a chore it is.
I was blindfolded. Could you explain your answer and please speak clearly into the recorder?
In one of my attempts to escape, I kicked him several times. And that's when I heard Mr. Bridges say, "Oh, hell, girl, why must everything be such a chore?" I'll never forget that.
Put him on the phone. Tell him that I miss him, okay? Please tell him that!
His behavior is hostile and unpredictable, exhibiting many classic signs of a pronounced personality disorder. A very privileged and sheltered upbringing may have contributed to his distorted sense of values. He has a tendency to dramatize unusually strange ideas, further
The
blurring
tragic
his
loss
ability
of his
to
mother
distinguish
on
between
the day that he was
right
born plagued his relationship with his father. Because of this, Henry spent his childhood alone.
So Mr. Bridges has 2 children.
Yes.
I knew right then I was looking at one of them, and there was no doubt in my mind Officer Troy was the other. Klugard was telling me so, describing Troy not as the subject of one of his case studies, but as an older brother driven mad by the death of his mother, Joyce Bridges.
His disease is chronic. It may be hereditary. His paranoid fear of losing the love of his father, or worse, the intense jealousy he feels in having to share it, is the causal root of his criminal behavior. He will, in all likelihood, get worse over time.
Now for WBOY News.
Finally, a reason to rejoice. The station has been notified that Atwater is writing again. That's right, folks. Dirt Boy is back. Atwater will be reading from his new novel this evening at 8 p.m. All are invited. You have reached the Klugard Conference Hotline. For conference dates, press 1. For registration, press 2. To speak with Dr. Ronald Klugard, press 3.
New evidence surrounding the mystery of Eugene Morassi and Betsy Nye, the 2 retired hospital workers found murdered here on Cape Cod.
Please help welcome our guest of honor for this evening, Mr. Atwater Bridges.
Oh, my. Thank you for coming. Hello, Frank. How are the boys? Good. Chuck,
You got those lobster traps in late.
Together, Troy and Atwater avenged the death of Joyce Bridges, a death they also blame on Dr. Klugard, the youngest son. I'm going now to meet him. He's the only person who could have moved those bodies without leaving behind a single clue. Without his confession, I have no evidence to connect Troy or Atwater to the crimes. Remember, Kate, no matter what the brochure says, don't come to Atwater Commons. Love, your brother, Maddie.
Speak up.
You know what's going on. You dug up the bodies.
Why would I do that?
So nobody would find them. When your father talked about leaving town for good, your brother freaked out. And for whatever reason, killing those hospital workers meant something to him. So he stayed. I'm sorry about what happened to your mother, but any sane person would know that her death was accidental. It was nobody's fault, especially not yours. You were outcast by them. They blame you for what happened to your mother, and yet you protect them? Why?
Because they're my family. And I love them. I am so tired of this.
Are my fingerprints still on that gun?
Yeah.
Stop them.
I had to do what I did, do you understand? I couldn't bear to see my father implicated. I just couldn't. And you heard what they said on the radio? It's time to dig up the perennials. I couldn't let them do it. They would have screwed it up.
Dr. Klugard, help me, please.
I'm so tired of being Dirt Boy.
I've got no proof, nothing. You made sure of that.
You were inches away. Inches. But you're right.
No one will ever find those bodies.
Dr. Kluger, no!
Captive to guilt and moral anguish. In a grave voice, the young man told Dirt Boy about the heroin addiction, which crept into his life like an unwanted dark shadow and followed him down the streets of New York. For 3 full years, he stumbled on sidewalks and dreamt in doorways. The heroin addiction, he confessed in a whisper, was savage, and like a hurricane left a wake of destruction in his life that hardly seemed possible. Out of the blurry haze of passing faces, a woman he thought he recognized from an earlier life stopped beside him and began to cry. She explained that she was his mother. For 2 hours in the pouring rain, she begged him to come home with her. The boy was shivering, but the beast in his veins howled louder than his mother's sobbing. So when she drove away on the fateful night, the young boy did not notice. His mother, traveling home after their encounter, turned a corner on a rain-soaked road and lost control of her car. She braced the steering wheel with every ounce of strength in her tiny body, caught up in an incredible fury of bending metal and shattered glass. She called out his name, Maddie, Maddie. The sound of her final breath drifted into the night and climbed into his dreams forever. My God, you are something else, young man. Tell me, son, did you find your mother in any of those empty graves?
Yes.
Really? What did she say?
She sees me now and she forgives me. She knows how sorry I am.
And it's something how these unfortunate events in our lives destroy us. We carry this hurt in our hearts like mud, but we keep it there. Because to let it go might just be to forget. But we won't forget. We never do.
Troy!
Letty!
This concludes Trading Words Audiobook's presentation of Dirt Boy.
Alone every evening and lights as many candles as she can afford. 500 empty seats along the aisle, 1,000 empty tears every stained glass window, and all the greedy come a-calling, and all the needy come a-courting again, and all the desperate come up wanting. Sweat stains on the mattress ticking, and they're lost inside a memory. The 40 watts dimly lights the motel bedroom. Gideon's word will now